Today we're joined by Sarah Toulson from GlideFast in the US to talk about her journey in the ServiceNow ecosystem. So thanks for joining us today, Sarah.
Happy to be here.
What was your personal journey into the ServiceNow ecosystem?
I guess you could say I'm a little bit of an atypical entrant to the ServiceNow industry. I do not come from a tech background. I have a bachelor's and master's in public administration. And so I learned about ServiceNow while I was working in the city clerk's office at a town that I lived in at the time. And I was teaching myself design. And this colleague of mine said, this is a lot easier on Service Portal because I was at the time learning to design and develop on WordPress and Squarespace and different platforms like that. And so he taught me the basics of Service Portal, and I did a lot of self learning and jumped into the partner space to design and develop on Service Portal.
Amazing. And I know you've been selected as a ServiceNow MVP for 2025. So what does being a ServiceNow MVP mean to you?
It's a distinct honor, and I so appreciate the community team that puts the MVP program together. We are chosen based on the content we create and everything, and basically, I see being an MVP as a thank you from the community for the work that we do to support ServiceNow developers. In my case, to provide resources to teach and to guide people as they learn to create engaging end user experiences on the platform. But ultimately, it is a great way to get our content seen and to do more good for the people that use the platform.
Amazing. And you mentioned that kind of end user experience. So talk to us about that.
So I am a self-taught designer. I have fairly self-taught myself the development on the platform as well. But this specifically deals with products like Employee Center, like CSM, and the new business portal that just came out with the Yokohama release. And what I do is I guide my client through understanding what their end users need. Service Portal is one of the big places where you can see your return on investment in your ServiceNow implementation. And so, what I do is make that experience exactly what the users need to cut down on the amount of time they're spending looking for help and support, but also ensuring that they adopt the ServiceNow platform and are willing to use it.
Yeah, amazing. And I think everyone can see the value in increasing the adoption and really getting users comfortable with using the platform. One thing I wanted to pick out, because you kind of spoke about the ServiceNow community in your answers there. Why should professionals consider joining the ServiceNow community?
It is the single greatest resource that you have at your disposal on this platform. The training is great. I enjoy the certification and the different learning paths that ServiceNow makes available. But anytime I have a question, whether it's on the actual community site or it's in the SN Dev Slack, I can ask any question that I have regarding the platform, regarding the details of how to implement a feature, regarding problems that I have, and someone's there to answer, to give guidance. And the MVPs that came before me, the other developers in the SN Dev Slack, have really been instrumental to helping me achieve the success that I've seen and help me implement some really tricky, complex applications that I've developed.
Awesome. And we've got the ServiceNow Knowledge event coming up in May as well. What's your exposure like to those events?
I love going to Knowledge. I try to go every year. I have spoken at Knowledge for the past few years, both in events that cater specifically to the women in the industry, as well as different sessions defining how to go about the process of designing a service portal. There aren't a lot of designers in the ServiceNow space, and so I like to encourage and educate based on what that process looks like. But so I've spoken. My team won the CreatorCon hackathon both last year and the year before, which was just an amazing experience. But overall, between the sessions you go to, the networking, and the people that you meet, it is a great opportunity for the industry to come together and learn about the new products like the agentic AI stuff that ServiceNow is putting out, which is really exciting, as well as meet new people within the industry that are working on the same problems as you are and everything like that. So always enjoy it. I always encourage everyone that
Yeah.
can go.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, it's a bit of a longer trip from us in the UK, but it's absolutely worth it. And what would your kind of top tips for someone that's maybe it's their first time to knowledge? As you mentioned, you're kind of an experienced seasoned campaigner there, as it were. What are your top tips for someone attending knowledge for the first time?
The very first and most important thing I would encourage you to do is to wear comfortable shoes. This is not the time to break in the 6-inch stilettos or those new business loafers. You're going to be on your feet all day. So wear comfortable shoes. That would be my first practical thing.
Yeah.
Another is to overbook your agenda. ServiceNow puts out an agenda planner for people that are registered to knowledge.
Mm.
Um, and I recommend that you overbook because you may not always be able to get to whatever's next on your agenda, or you may find that like your second choice is in the room next door, and that's a lot easier to get to and leaves you room for lunch. So overbook your agenda, and that way you know everything that you want to see and you have options for what will best fit whatever situation you get into. Because you may find there's a lot of impromptu meetings and conversations you're going to end up having at Knowledge. You're going to walk by a session and stop and listen in. And overbooking the on the agenda builder allows you to have a better idea of everything that you want to see, so that if your situation or your location changes, you're better able to find that next great session that you're looking to attend. Those would be my top two pieces of advice. The thing I would encourage people to do, especially you developers out there, is to seek out the sessions and the events that are specific to CreatorCon. This is the hackathon, which is so much fun, and it's a great opportunity to just sit down and get to develop with some of the people that you enjoy just doing the work with. Um, and if they are doing Hack for Good again this year, sit down and finish a few stories and contribute to a very worthy organization that they choose every year. They choose someone different to contribute to that. And then, just have fun. Go to the social events and just enjoy the company of other people that work on the same platform you do.
Yeah, amazing. Well, I think some great tips in there. What are kind of the interesting projects that you've worked on in your career that you'd like to share with us?
I can't speak to anything I'm currently working on, but two that really stand out to me that are a little more visible. One is with the state of Tennessee. I was on a team that helped put together the One DHS portal that the state of Tennessee put together. I had a lot of fun working with the GlideFast team because I've been in the position where I needed government assistance. And what this portal does is it makes it easier for people that need that assistance to find it without having to take off work, without having to go downtown to a government office. And this portal, this work was done right at the beginning of the pandemic when everything shut down. So it was even then it was more so of a huge leap to make sure that access to government was made equitable for people in need. So that project and the people that work with the state of Tennessee will always have a special place in my heart. It was a lot of fun to do. It was a really great design we put together, and it was a great team. Um, Another project that I worked on a little more recently was with another partner than what I'm with now, but this was the main website for the state of South Dakota. I had a heavy hand in some of the front end development for that service portal based state website, both the design and the development of many of the widgets that make up the site. And it was a lot of fun to put that together, to work with the state government, and to have something that I know is helping an entire state reach their citizens and meet their needs.
Amazing, yeah, two amazing kind of use cases, and something that really provides, I guess, value to the community as well. So thanks for sharing those with us, Sarah. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us regarding your involvement in ServiceNow?
It's a great platform, and I encourage anybody that's watching this to remember that the platform has grown so much since its initial days as just an ITSM product. Um, I don't know everything about the platform, and I don't pretend that I know everything about the platform. And I encourage you to remember that there's no expectation that you know everything about all the different projects, or the modules rather, within the platform. And so that's why it's so essential to be connected to the community, because you may not know everything about CSM or HRSD or ham and sam, things like that, but the community offers people that do, that can help you solve the problems you're looking to solve with the platform.
Amazing. Yeah, thanks so much for the insight, Sarah. Really appreciate you joining us today. And it sounds like you've really worked on some very interesting projects. And I guess my one tip for knowledge would be to go and say hello to Sarah if you see her there, or visit her talks as well. So thanks so much for speaking to us today, Sarah. Getting up early to kind of take the call. And yeah, thank you again for the insights.
Thank you.